because if you're having a long-term interaction with a person, you're doing business with them for 20 or 30 years or whatever, what I've noticed is that people that have been able to maintain those long-term relationships are able to kind of go to hell and back with somebody and still keep from burning the whole house down. I don't think most young people are really trained on that. I don't. I think that they're trained to feel like if you make me feel bad two times, then I that gives me a justification for booting you out of my life. And maybe that makes them feel like if you don't take that approach, that makes you weak or you're a simp or you're a sucker or whatever. And I think that that's the wrong approach because all that pride, all that ego, and all this other stuff, you can't really build on. You can't build on pride and ego. You can't. That's why I would say rappers are just terrible role models for the black community when it comes to building anything. If you notice, a lot of rappers, not all of them, but many of them, the more toxic ones, all they do is they talk about themselves. They talk about how special they are. They become like these little musical narcissists where every verse is, look at me, 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 right? And if you're always focused on you and what you gonna get and who you are and you being the best and you being number one, it's very hard for you to form a collaborative, cooperative interaction where everyone has value and everyone's value is recognized. But if you notice, if you look throughout the world, I want you to pay attention. I want you to look throughout the world. Use one example. Go see a movie. Go see a movie, and I want you to watch the ending credits of that movie. Like go see a Marvel movie or something, and watch the end of the ending credits. You're gonna see like 5,000 names that are gonna come up on at the end of those credits. All those people had to put their egos to the side and work through their differences and work through their relationship challenges and figure out a way to get this damn project done. They had to suck it up, grin and bear it. And I want you to ask yourself, how many times have you ever seen in the world of business where there was a black owned entity that required the what's the selfless cooperation of thousands of people where there's a lot of money involved and there wasn't a whole lot of fighting and chaos? I'm not saying that we can't do it. I think we can. I just want to sort of point to you and make you conscious and aware of the sort of mindset that's required to make these things happen. And so some of you already get this. Some of you are already doing business with people. And you probably know this. You know that when you're working with other people and you're trying to be collaborative, there's not a lot of room for you to be this ego-driven narcissist. You have to have consideration and respect for other people, and people like Dr. George C. Frazier. I watch him. He's a friend of mine. I would call him a mentor. I'm honored. He's actually going to do a class with me in the Black Business School, because and I just respect him. But how he just is able to he's not going to pop off on if you could come up to him and say something really terrible and insulting. You could say, I think you're a blankety blank and a piece of crap and whatever, and he's just going to patiently um absorb what you said, right? And he's going to give you a response that's not going to be built on all this chaos that gets promoted to the black community. Like he's not a chaotic sort of person. And I said, okay, so he's calm, he's cool. So that's the same thing. Same thing can work in a marriage. Your wife comes in, something bad happens, she expresses a lot of emotion. Therapists show you how to deal with that without destroying the relationship. Your kids come in, the kids start acting crazy, whatever. You learn how to react in a way that's more constructive as opposed to destructive. Same thing is true in business. Something goes wrong. How do you deal with that? How do you address that? Okay, let's have a meeting. Let's talk it out. Let's figure this out. That allows you to address each other in a constructive way. So I would encourage you to really think about these things because remember, business is relationships. Relationships are business. Right. So one thing I want to remind you all of is tomorrow we're going to have an event, stock market investing for beginners. So if you are a beginner in the stock market and you're not sure what to do, I'm going to take you on a little field trip and we're going to do some stock market investing. Here's the link. If you'd like to join, it's $99, but you can bring your whole family and you can also have all the materials for life. So $99, lifetime access. It's yours. Feel free to join us and we'll talk about some stock market stuff. Also, secondly, I want to share something with you guys. we actually have Black Wealth apparel in Dr. Boyce Books, and we have a lot of cool shirts. Y'all know me; I'm kind of a smart aleck sometimes, and so we got like these cool funny shirts that our team sort of put together to allow you to express yourself as a wealth builder. And so if you want to go take a look, the link is right there. You can go to drboycebooks.com. We have little shirts like "Wealth is the New Black," handling my black owned business, invest now, build, have wealth later, stuff like that. So you can feel free to just take a look at that. And there's also tumblers and all kinds of stuff in the apparel store. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com to take a look at that. Also, copies of books like Powernomics are in the store. In my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So we also have stuff for your kids, flashcards and workbooks. So you can look up flashcards and you'll see we have a lot of different flashcards. We have flashcards for crypto, for real estate, for stock market investing, etc. So feel free to go take a look at that. And thank you, Angela McKinney. She says she loves the merch. Well, the merch loves you, Angela. All right. So one thing I wanted to hit on really quickly as well is I want to talk about life insurance and just this weird thing where there are so many people that end up dying without life insurance. I personally think that's kind of crazy and very unhealthy. And I'm gonna address that. And actually, before I do that, one of you were asking about the text number.